Welcome back. Today, I want to share with you guys how am I actually able to take all these amazing photos and videos during my trip in Taiwan. So follow along, take out your phone, and we're going to go through from the beginning to end on how I actually make that happen. So if you can see on the right hand side when you go to the camera setting, so I give you an instruction here. If you go to setting on the very top, you can actually search for camera. Once you're there, this is the screen that you will see on the right hand side. So you can see on the format, there's different options you can go through. What you want to do is basically kind of copy what I have here. Go ahead and take a couple minutes to do that. While you do that, I'm also going to give you some tidbit. So the first one is when you record a video. I think even when you're at a very beautiful scenery, it's very important to have the best quality photo and video possible. So most of the phones, the one I have is the Pro 13. The one they actually give you a lot of different options, but I will recommend when you first started with at least a 1080 at 60 FPS. So that's kind of like the industry standard. When you look at YouTube, most of the YouTubers they actually have camera setting for at least at 1080. Now, if you're in a place where the scenery is actually really, really beautiful and you want to really fully capture the beauty, the maximum you go to is 4K at 60 FPS. So I'm going to give you an example. For example, when I was shooting the fireworks in Taipei, I want to make sure it's at the best possible format. So that way the audience can actually see the true beauty of the fireworks. So I actually had it all the way up to, I think, 4K at 60 FPS. So that's the maximum setting. But something to think about is the basic, in a nutshell, is the lower the quality of the video, it means the size of the video and the time it takes to upload the video is going to be way shorter. But if you want better quality, that you do need to commit to it. So that means your memory size is going to be much larger. And the time it will take you to upload the video will be also at a longer duration as well. So that's something to think about. So for beginner, I would recommend you start off with at least 1080 at 60 FPS, which is kind of the standard. Now, of course, you want to also turn up this icons as well. So these two, I will go into that a little bit in a detail in maybe a separate video for those who are brand new to iPhones or the settings. So we'll go into that a little bit detail, but go ahead and turn that on right now. On the bottom right here, this is something I actually use all the time, which is the grid. So if you need a little bit guidance on where you're going to position the object in your photo, the grid is actually a really nice tool to have. So go ahead and make sure you have all these tab turned to the right, most of them anyway. Once you're done with that, then on the left-hand side, on the very top, there's actually a format that you can click on. So you can go to format and make sure you turn on to high efficiency. So that will actually makes it easier for you to go ahead and transfer the video at a better speed. The Apple Pro Raw, I like this one, is it gave you a little bit control. So in the future, if you are deciding you need to do more edit on the video, it gives you a better option. So go ahead and turn that on as well. So go ahead and turn these two tabs on and also high efficiency. Okay, so while you're getting ready to do that, we're going to move on to the next thing we're going to talk about, which is the different lenses. So this is actually meant to be super, super easy. So when you're brand new to iPhone and you just want to start taking photos, the easiest thing to think about it is these lenses that we're looking at is looking out. And the iPhone actually had dual lenses capability, meaning you can actually take photo of yourself, so portrait, or you can take photo out, so looking outside. So for all the photos and videos that I took, it's actually using these lenses. So that's basically what you want to think about. So meaning later on when we talk about how you hold your phone, it's going to make a lot more sense. Now, I think the most important thing that I did and when I researched on how to take photos and videos, is the angles. Because if you think about it, if you're just taking videos or photo of one object and it's just in one angle and that never change, it's very boring for the audience. So you want to play with different angles that to shoot the objects or the photos. So some of the angles the basic one that you want to start using is you can pen to the left, pen to the right. So some of these I use, for example, when I'm using and shooting like a a building or a room when I enter into the room and want to give an audience of the whole section of the room, I will do the angle to the right or to the left. So just make the video a little bit more interesting. So this is also kind of a mix between left and right. So you start in the center and you pen to the left and you pen to the right. The other one I use pretty often is going from the bottom and just keep penning up. So this is actually a very useful technique that when you're shooting like a tree or let's say a building, I do that pretty frequently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually insert some of the example that I use so you have a better idea of how I did that. So there are actually many modes that already come with your iPhone. So I think that really the trend going forward is you're going to see a lot more people taking photo and videos just with their phone. Because you think about it, you're going to invest in a very expensive equipment. But however, most people actually don't fully use it. And nowadays with the iPhone, the enhancement, especially the 15 coming out now, there are better technology and it's actually a really good camera, especially if you're brand new starting to shoot videos and photo. So the mode that I'm working with in this order kind of is one, of course, is the basic, which is the photo. Then you have the portrait mode. So I'm going to also include an example of some of the portrait mode that I use. Video, so the very basic video. And then the last of it where I'm going to go is I'm going to also share the example for time-lapse and also panel mode. So this is actually the one I actually had most fun shooting is actually the time-lapse. So the time-lapse is something where it looks really amazing. When you actually upload it into a video and you see it first time, it's really amazing, but it's actually super easy to do. So I'm going to give you a tidbit on how to actually do that. So the time lapse is basically, it is actually a setting you can pick on your iPhone. So a couple of things to set up before you actually take the photo. So one thing when you take videos or photos, the lighting is super important. So and when you're taking amazing photo, a lot of it is actually the timing is really the important part. So when you look at it, it's really the two times. It's the sunrise or the sunset. So one of the tip I can actually share with you guys is when I arrive at Taiwan, for example, I'm in a hotel, I want to make sure I want to shoot the sunrise or sunset from the hotel room. I'll pull out my weather app and I'll look at the actual time of projected for the sunset and also for the sunrise. So I'll set an alarm clock for maybe like 10 minutes before the actual event. So that would give you enough time to get the camera ready. So once I have that time down, then on the camera mode, you want to select time lapse, which I believe is all the way on the left-hand side. You can select that. The other tidbit you want to make sure you write down and take note of it is you want to make sure the camera is actually set at a steady surface. And so two things to keep in mind. So in the beginning, when I don't have a stand, I will literally just put it like on top of the table or on the floor. So it's facing out. And you want to get it close as to the window as possible. For me, it was actually shot inside of the hotel room. So that's to prevent glares. Now, if you're in a setting where it's actually closer to the nighttime, you're actually getting a lot of glare from the window. What you want to do is one is to turn off all the light in the room because the light is the one actually causing the glare. Number two is you want to get your camera as close to the actual window as possible. So that will actually cut down the amount of glare that you have. Also, keep in mind it's in a time-lapse mode, meaning that you want to shoot for at least maybe 30 minutes to an hour. And then so what they'll do is they will actually capture all the video, but they will shorten it. So some of the example is some of the YouTube that video already shot in Taiwan. You can see toward at the very end of the hotel unboxing, there's really this short 5-minute, 10-minute clip of just the change of color and the clouds, the orange, the light coming in through the clouds. So that's that you're able to capture that. So it's actually pretty amazing. I love this technique. It's super easy to do. And it looks amazing. So highly recommend you guys actually start using your phone and give it a try. Now, finally, I'm going to end the session with other tips to share. So some of the really basic thing that we kind of forget is number one, of course, you want to have your tech check. So meaning is before you actually set up to do your photo shoots, check your tech if devices. Make sure you pack everything. Make sure you charge your devices the day before so you have the full power to go ahead and capture all the amazing shots. Number two, there's two ways to hold your phone. So you think about it on the right hand side, I gave you an example is horizontal. So this is actually for content that is going to be posted on YouTube. So that's shot horizontally. The other way is if you go straight down here, it's a vertical. That's usually for IG and TikTok. Now there is way around that where you can actually edit in the later time to change the format from something that's meant to for YouTube to go into IG and TikTok. But that means you're going to spend extra time on doing the edit. What I'm trying to do is to show you guys the easiest way to transition from shooting that video horizontally and just with very light editing and go into actual content that's ready to use for YouTube. And the very last thing is wipe your camera. So unfortunately, we touch your cameras quite a bit, especially when it's actually your phone. So what I usually do is right before the shoot, I will wipe down my camera and the phone thoroughly. And I'll give you some of the actual recommendations in the description below. So make sure you check that out as well. Again, thank you so much for watching. And if you like content like these, please help support the channel to make sure the channel is growing. Thank you and have a wonderful day.